go to this now. At least one water expert has lauded the Water and Sanitation Department for reinstating the blue and green drop reports. These reports give South Africans an idea of the state of tap water in the country, as well as the wastewater systems. Now, the latest report shows that a total of 334, or maybe 39%, of municipal wastewater systems were identified to be in a critical state in 2021. This compared with 248, or 29%, in 2013. Now, the report also shows a significant decline in the country's water quality, with 23% of municipalities flagged as being at critical risk. Let's speak now to Dr. Phillips, who's the Department of Water and Sanitation's Director General. Dr. Phillips, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I mean, water is not just about the volume of the water that's coming out of the tap, but the quality of water. So these reports are critical. So how would you say, as the department, reinstating them has helped with the work of improving the water provided to residents?
Thank you very much and good evening. Well, you know, they say in order to improve, you first have to admit where you are and what your problems are, and that you're 50% towards improving and addressing problems if you're frank about them. So it's very important for us to be transparent and accountable about the state of our water infrastructure and our wastewater infrastructure in the country. When we do these assessments, we don't only identify the problems with the water treatment works and the wastewater treatment works and other infrastructure. We also identify the causes of the problem and what needs to be done about them. And through these processes, we check all the water infrastructure and wastewater infrastructure across all the municipalities in the country. And we're now engaging with the municipalities through our regional offices so that we can workshop with them, especially the ones which are in a critical condition, and take them through the causes of the problems and what needs to be done about them, and assist them to develop action plans to address the causes of the problems.
And is it only about addressing the causes of the problems, or also holding to account those who may have been seen to be maybe negligent here and putting the lives of residents at risk? Because if you drink water that is not up to standard, there are also some health risks it may pose.
Yes, indeed. It's very important to have accountability as well as the transparency. And in the future, we will be looking at legal action against municipalities, as well as private sector companies who pollute the environment. In terms of the legislation, we do have powers to take legal action against serial offenders in this regard, and we will be doing so in the future.
And how then, Dr. Phillips, do you also begin to restore the public's trust? Because I remember when the last green drop and blue drop reports were published, the people were not happy with it. And some were saying that this has eroded the trust in the work of the department or even the systems. Where do you begin now with the reinstatement of these reports to restore the public's trust?
Well, I think for government to be transparent and accountable does result in trust. People on the ground know very well that their water services and wastewater services have been deteriorating. It doesn't create trust if we're not open about that and don't admit to the situation as it is. That's the first step towards improving it. So we think that we will build trust amongst the public if we open and transparent about the problems, and we admit them that they're there and are frank about them, and we focus on working with municipalities to address the problems systematically over time.
And talking about openness and transparency, I'm sure you've seen the reports by the Daily Maverick, and I also see they quote you on some of them. They allege that approximately 65 senior department officials were either being investigated or charged by the disciplinary committee for wrongful expenditure. This, they say, is of more than 31 billion rand. Firstly, do such cases exist? And what is the status, if you're able to share, of these investigations?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we have had problems with corruption and financial misconduct in the department in the past. over the last 10 years, we've had 147 different disciplinary cases related to financial misconduct in the department. Currently, 116 of those have been finalized. 22 of them are still open, and they've resulted in 8 dismissals and a number of other disciplinary actions taken against officials.
Pardon me, Dr. Phillips. So is it then the truth that potentially these particular investigations are being concealed and not being acted upon?
No, it's not the truth. We act on any information that we receive about wrongful actions by our officials in the department. We investigate all allegations. In this particular case, there was a disciplinary committee made up of people who are not officials of the department, which was appointed by the former minister, which initiated these investigations. They were working with our HR officials, and many of the cases I've mentioned are probably the same cases that are in the report that the journalist has from that disciplinary committee. When the former minister's term came to an end, the disciplinary committee didn't continue to function as it was linked to the minister's term. Both the minister and the department requested a final report from that disciplinary committee, which hasn't been received. The department requested it last year in writing, and I recently requested it as well. I look forward to getting it, because if it gives us any additional information that could help us to pursue successful investigations and disciplinary cases against anyone guilty of corruption or financial misconduct in the department, we will use it. So I've requested the journalist as well to provide me with that report. As yet he hasn't done so. It's not that we are ignoring or trying to cover up. We simply don't have the report that he's talking about. We've asked for it on several occasions. As soon as I get it, we will act. We will thoroughly scrutinize the report. We will act to ensure that there's disciplinary investigations. And if necessary, if any information given to us indicates that some cases were incorrectly closed in the past, we won't hesitate to reopen them.
So, Dr. Phillips, in 5 seconds then, if you are not getting the report from those that you're asking for it from, are you then potentially going to look at legal action then for them to give it to you? Because this is critical when it comes to accountability. So we can see that something is happening, because this is a department that is finding itself in hot water year after year. And it's been a long time now that we see, allegations of graft, or even some of the officials that you talk about have already been fired.
Yes, we might have to do that. We might have to institute legal action to get a copy of the report. At the moment, as I indicated, I've written to the former chair of the disciplinary committee and requested the report. So hopefully I will receive it, and I'm looking forward to receiving it and acting on any new information that I don't currently have in that report.
All right, Dr. Phillips, thank you so much for being candid with us and giving us exactly what is going on there, and we do appreciate your time, but we'll keep a very close eye on this particular story to see if in fact the department gets this particular report that it says that it is being owed here. That is Dr. Sean Phillips, who is the Department of Water and Sanitation's Director General. With that, let's recap the headlines.